Welcome to the Hasson Studio. I'm Randall Hasson and I'm excited to bring you a course called Writing with the Bent Nib. This online series consists of 5 separate topics, 3 separate nibs, and techniques on writing vintage lettering. Each section is going to contain a little bit of history or background on the tools or lettering styles that we'll be talking about. We'll have short videos with letter groups so that you can practice specific parts of the letters. And we'll also have extended videos with alphabets and alphabet sentences so that you can not only practice each letter of the alphabet, but practice them in context of words. Each section includes downloadable handouts that include extra examples of alphabets we may not have demonstrated for each section of the nib. There are also traceable examples and supporting information. For all 5 sections, this is over 52 pages of information that I think will really help you in generating a creative spirit and giving you ideas on how to use these nibs for vintage style. The classes contain detailed sections and can be taken singly or in a bundle of all 5. Now let's talk about each section of the course. The initial section in this class is called Vintage Styles. Styles that have been researched from about 1900 to 1930 and that were in use at the time before the bent nib pen was invented. These styles could be executed with a brush, using a traditional broad edge pen, or they could be executed by using drawn lettering. The styles in this section are wonderful to look at. They have a naive quality and give a background into why the bent nib pen was invented. When it comes to the invention of the bent nib pen, the first pen, introduced in 1915, was the A-series Speedball nib. This pen has a square lettering shoe. By keeping the flat lettering shoe on the page, the letterer could write styles such as Rennie Mackintosh styles, or a famous style called spurred Gothic, which is the precursor to our modern copperplate Gothic font. The pen could also be turned over on its back in order to write more traditional lettering. In 1915, that was important because people didn't have a lot of money to spend. And so Ross George, the inventor of the pen, marketed it as 2 pens in 1. The Speedball B-nib has a round lettering shoe. It's probably one of the easiest and most pleasurable nibs for the calligrapher or the lettering artist to use. It can be used for a variety of styles, including scripts, monoline letters for movie titling, or rounded letters such as the poster artist Ludwig Hohlwein took advantage of in the early 1900s. In addition, this is the pen that will draw the letters called Vanity Roman, made famous by Ross George in the 1927 Speedball textbook. The last nib invented in the Speedball line in this era is an oval-shaped D-nib. As opposed to the fine serifs of the broad-edge nib, this nib was used to create a blunt serif. Blunt serifs were easier to read, especially in poster work. Artists of the early 1900s, such as F.G. Cooper, used this serif in much of their work. It's a pleasurable nib to write with. For the calligrapher, the familiarity of the pen angle will make this an easy nib to work with. In addition, this nib lends itself to a playful character, and these lettering styles with the blunt serif were prevalent for quite a number of decades between the 1910s and the 1930s. The final section of the Writing with the Bent Nib course deals with uses of these nibs in order to create contemporary lettering. Many of these lettering styles are achieved by not using the nib as it was intended. One of the finest practitioners of using these nibs for contemporary purposes is Michael Clark. We'll be going over much of his lettering as well as techniques in order to get mock brush lettering or a type of lettering that looks like a ruling pen. The Bent Nib is a tool that is easy for a beginner to use and can provide interesting possibilities for the calligrapher. It gives you a new old tool to use and to create and innovate. The classes can be taken singly or in a bundle of all 5. I hope you'll join us and see you in class.